Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Knicks Cave. I'm Jan, the Knicks fan, your host, and let's get right into it. But before we get into it, I want you to do me one small favor. I want you to hit that like button. I definitely want you to subscribe, leave a comment. You want to know when the next video going to drop, hit the notification bell. Well, let's get right into it. Y'all seen the thumbnail, the big payback. And this you could take it with a grain of salt, whatever you want to take it, but I actually think there is some type of truth to this. Because why would they trade my man Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland? Everybody was expecting him to go to the New York Knicks, expecting him, Donovan Mitchell, to go to the New York Knicks. Donovan Mitchell, that was his preferred choice. He actually wanted to go to either New York, the Nets, or Miami. There's an article I'm gonna read to you, just to further my opinion on how I felt. But y'all already know how I felt about the trade. I did not really want this trade for the New York Knicks. But if this report is correct and accurate, it's messed up, man. I mean, as an organization, you don't have to oblige any player. You the one who paid their salary, you know what I'm saying? You're in control of their careers. But I think Donovan Mitchell, um, although I first let me get this out so that y'all don't think I like Donovan Mitchell as a basketball player. I think he's a very special talent. I just don't think he's an elite player. I don't think he would have been enough to get the New York Knicks over the hump. And by saying that, I don't think we should have. Well, we didn't, but I don't think we should have been willing to give the farm away. I was disappointed when I heard the rumor about R.J. Barrett. I wasn't too mad about Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin because these are two players I want on the team: Obi Toppin, R.J. Barrett. Um, and 3 first-round picks, and that's a good offer. And for the Jazz to turn that down, it was the big payback. Another thing I want to say before I hit this article. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the article real quick, and then I'm gonna come back with my opinion, and then that's gonna be the show. Um, NBA rumors: Jazz trade Donovan Mitchell to Cavs instead of Knicks as payback. Written by Rob Goldberg. The Utah Jazz sent Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers as payback for wanting out, according to Rick Bucker, Butcher of the Fox Sports. The New York native reportedly wanted a move to the New York Knicks, but Boucher, reported Jazz officials was not happy with the three-time All-Star and instead traded him to a different spot. Cleveland eventually acquired Mitchell in exchange for Colin Sexton, Laurie Marketing, and OG Abanobi, plus 3 first-round draft picks and 2 pick swap. They're gonna swap 2 picks, I think, in if I'm not mistaken, I think in 27 and 29 or 25 and 27. The Knicks have been heavily involved in trade talk for Mitchell, reportedly offering R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson, and 3 unprotected first-round picks in exchange for the guard earlier in the offseason, per ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski. Tony Jones of the Athletic previously reported Mitchell did not ask for a trade, but he did note the guard would prefer a move to the Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, or Miami Heat if he was dealt. From a basketball sense, Mitchell still ended up this. I'm gonna stop right there because I'm gonna get back to that part of the article, and I just want to talk about Tony Jones, Adrian Wojnarowski, and even my man Shams. Now, in previous reports, we all heard that the Jazz was in no rush to trade Donovan Mitchell. I'm not dissing none of these guys. I'm not saying that because they just report what they hear, and maybe they got some bad information. But this is why I kept saying you can't believe everything you hear. And I know that's kind of contradicting because I'm telling you something. So, but like I said, this is my opinion. Um, like I said, the Knicks never was in contingency because the Jazz was already had their mindset. Danny Ainge, like I said, I did not trust Danny Ainge. He already was planning to move Mitchell to somewhere else because Mitchell was acting out. What I think Danny Ainge did crookedly is because Donovan Mitchell, I'm not familiar with the whole ins and outs of the deals from Cavs. I do know the picks, but I don't know if Donovan Mitchell waived his kicker. He had a 15% kicker in his trade clause. I think earlier we heard reports that Donovan Mitchell was willing to waive that kicker. I don't know if he had waived that kicker and then my man Danny Ainge made the moves that he made while Mitchell thinking because he waived his kicker that he was going to go to his preferred team of destination, not only the New York Knicks, but like I said, it was Miami or even the Nets. But he wound up in Cleveland, and that's why I think this is payback for him wanting out. And now I'm gonna get to the part of this article. I just want to read this part of the article, and then I'm gonna end the video. Tony Jones of Athletic previously reported Mitchell didn't ask for a trade, but he did note the guard would prefer a move to the Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, or Miami Heat. From a uh, basketball sense, Mitchell still end up in a good location with Cleveland squad that features exciting young players like Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. After falling short in the playing tournament last season, the Cavs could be a scary team in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks have even more question marks, especially if they have included Barry in the deal. The core of Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle still might not be enough to make the playoffs. And this is what I'm saying. Even though I think they would have made the playoffs, but if everybody's saying getting Donovan Mitchell wouldn't be enough, then I don't understand guys like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and all these other commentators talking about the Knicks blow it again. And in all actuality, the Knicks never had a chance. And in a lot of cases, the Knicks is like the Jets. We always be used in negotiations. We'll go to the Knicks, and then a lot of teams know that the Knicks are desperate, so that usually get their deal moved on to other organization. The Knicks is trying to get a star on the team, and the Knicks and the Jets get used as stepping stones for negotiations. And that's why I say I'm glad that Leon Rose didn't make the move that he made, because for once, the Knicks management is showing organizations that we're not going to be stepped on. We know what we're doing over here. You know what I'm saying? This is what I like about this organization. Matter of fact, this management. I do like the organization. A lot of people like to get on my man James Dolan. I don't know why. It's his team. He can do what the hell he want with his team. Let's get back into the article. Now, another thing I wanted to say when I was finishing the article off is the Cavs roster of Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. I have read and came across some pieces on Twitter and some articles where these guys are already the favorite. I mean, number 2 in the East, not the favorite, excuse me, but they put them in the high seed, and I don't think so. And the reason being because you're gonna have 2 diminutive guards pushing the ball up the court. Who they going to hold? It's going to put a lot of stress on Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and Okoro. And I know Okoro's a good defensive player, but he can't be everywhere at once. I still think the Knicks gonna make the playoffs. I ain't mean to jump off the subject, but I think I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know the situation. What's going to happen in Cleveland? I'm not saying I do not believe that they're going to be a number 2 seed, number 3, or number 4. I think it's going to take a year for them to get used to each other. Maybe not a year, but by the time they get used to playing each other, they might be a little too further down. And in my opinion, I don't see it working with them 2 guards. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. So I'm gonna say this again: the New York Knicks never really had a chance in this deal because, as we see, Danny Ainge was just using the New York Knicks to get a better deal from another team, and that's my opinion. But that's what happened. I mean, he got decent players. Sexton, the rumors are the Jazz is going to keep Sexton. They might keep Lauri Markkanen. Their only center right now is Kessler, which I said I had talked about him in the draft for the New York Knicks. Also, he's a good center. He can stretch the floor. He can play a little bit of defense. The Jazz wasn't playing with good faith. They didn't come in this negotiation with good faith. They already had what they already knew what they was going to do. They was playing with the New York Knicks fans, and they was playing with Donovan Mitchell. If I was Donovan Mitchell, every time I play these guys, I would give it to them. But another thing I wanted to say is, like, these guys, everybody kept saying that the New York Knicks blew this trade. How? When the Knicks didn't really have any chance because Utah wasn't trading him to his preferred destination. And I think that's why Miami pulled out. And we all know the Nets was not even thinking about trading none of their players. And I like the Nets. I'm not even going to lie to you. I get on Kevin Durant and I get on Kyrie Irving, but I like the Nets team right now. They got at least 4 players over there that's shooting over 38% from downtown. Who knows? Like I said, Julius Randle and Evan Fournier might come back with a good year. I think the Brooklyn Nets might come and fulfill the dream that everybody had for them when they signed for that team. Y'all heard me come down on the Brooklyn Nets sometime, but if I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from New York, I'm from BK, baby. But so if the Nets was to go to the championship, I would be rooting for them. If they was to go to the playoffs, I would be watching them because that's my hometown. I'm not going to hate on my hometown, but the Nets will always be the little brothers to the New York Knicks, in my opinion. And with that being said, I want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.